quiet seaside town, an evil laid to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Friends, and welcome to Tabletop Gold, episode 95. It is, it's another 5. We've done it. We're 5 away from 100. It's so hard to believe. I'm ready for it. I've got, we can skip right to 100 right now as far as I'm concerned.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Episode 100. Welcome. We're doing it.
You're all dead.
Wait, no. Oh, the characters. Yes.
Yeah.
Probably. Could be. We'll see what happens tonight. I'm a little worried. Okay, listen.
Or this is the end of Lost, and we actually were just playing RPGs.
Hey.
Oh, sorry, spoilers. Yeah.
That show ended 10 years ago? Isn't that hard
People
to
are
believe?
still watching.
People are watching. People thought the ending was great. Nobody had any complaints. I'm Lars Casteen, the whatever I am, and I'm joined tonight by our Matt Humphreys.
Hello.
Hi. And Zoe Chernicoff.
Hello.
And David, the Tin Man Chernicoff.
Good that time.
And Robin Lange.
Hello.
Hello. Robin is joining us from the Velvet Zone tonight.
Yes, I'm going to be using my serious podcaster voice.
Okay.
I have a bit of a migraine, so I'm just going to keep it in the smooth jazz register.
Trill starting in on her Enya phase tonight. It's weird how life influences art sometimes,
When we were doing full-on Zoom school and I got this mic when I was not recording but teaching from home, my students would get unreasonably geek out on the difference in the quality of the sound.
For sure.
Of me teaching a class versus every other teacher, because I was the only one with a podcaster mic, and they would always refer to it as, "Oh, Miss, can we do a Zoom class again so that you can use your podcast voice?" It's like, this is really bizarre, guys. I don't know how I feel about this.
You're kind of touching into a thing that I have unreasonable feelings about, and this is gonna make me not. This is not a relatable thing that I feel. But
it's unreasonable. I mean,
it is unreasonable.
That's how he knows Lars' opinion.
Yeah. During the heady days of the early pandemic, when people agreed to do remote working and do lots of conference calls and stuff like that, I think it's super messed up that nobody at any of these companies or schools or whatever came to the conclusion of we should get microphones that facilitate easy conversation between people online. I am the only person that I know who thinks that if you're getting paid thousands of dollars a year to do some white collar job by some company and you're going to have to jump on conference calls all the time, that company should, in my opinion, shell out the $200 for a great USB microphone. Why not? Just do it.
So you're saying I should use this mic at work?
I think everybody who does remote work, I think it should be a matter of etiquette that anybody who does it should be offered, should be given by their company as part of their equipment to do their job, should be given a good microphone.
Yeah, whereas in my case, I leave it off frame because it would be so weird to show up
to be the one
to a
person.
meeting.
Well, because it's not normal, right? If everyone did
yes.
It was apparently, I will say, Lars, I've heard of this happening one time.
Yeah.
A former boss of mine, apparently, prior to my starting this job in early pandemic times, as everyone was fully Zoom, would the moment anyone who gave like briefings or public presentations where I work would freeze on Zoom, apparently the next day they would find a microphone shipped to their house because she like hated the idea that people were getting on Zoom and doing big briefings and things without. But like the cause and effect was hilarious, right? Because it was like your Zoom froze, which is your internet, not your audio.
Right.
But then she would just send microphones to people.
Let me send you a piece of equipment that will use more bandwidth to transmit your audio.
Yeah, it's kind of
that's the only time I've ever heard of it.
It's not exactly,
We had like a room full. We had this hybrid model at my school, so there was essentially every day for the kids whose like parents couldn't have them stay at home. There was like the homeschool room at my school where just kids who weren't supposed to be in that day would go to do their Zoom classes. It was very bizarre.
Yeah,
but the school got everyone headphones, but didn't bother actually getting anyone headphones that had mics on them. And so you had a room full of kids trying to participate in Zoom classes. So they weren't hearing each other because they had the headphones on, but their mics were picking up the entire room.
No, this makes me so mad.
Because it was just the mic that was in the computer. I was like, how did our tech department not say, like, just get them a simple one? Like, I have earbuds. Like, I have really cheap, like, Skull Candy earbuds that have a mic built in, and that's what I use for my, like, basic Zoom calls.
Right.
Just so that you're not picking up every background sound.
We did a thing on the show a few months ago where, like, Zoe had unearthed some article that would describe your personal hell based on your Myers-Briggs type. I feel like Robin just described Lars's personal hell, not based on his Myers-Briggs type, just based on his entire self.
On him.
The idea of like a room, and let's just be real here. This is probably a room with like a shiny floor and like flat walls. This is a box. This is an echo chamber. With 25
with
children in it. What? Are you kidding me? And they have to yell everyone's going to get picked up by every other microphone everywhere around them. If two
this sounds
people,
like a hazard. You should build this into a dungeon.
I should build this into a dungeon.
The minute anyone makes a noise, everyone starts hearing feedback echoes in their multiplying feedback echoes.
Maddened for.
Make a will save.
It's making my migraine worse.
It just bothers me so much because I understand that microphones are expensive, but companies can spend money on a microphone. This is just, I'm sorry. This is how I will die on this hill that nobody ever visits and nobody cares about. This is a hill that only I am here on.
Even today, when I get on a Zoom, like even like I'll get on a remote workshop, and the leader's not wearing a headset, and so you're just getting the echo of their whole room. Like it's not that hard to just put. Like I know there's no one else in the room. Put on a headset though.
I'm right there with you.
I enjoy because dying on a hill usually means that it's valuable terrain. It's a hill. It's valuable terrain, so everyone's going to fight over it. I really like the idea of dying on a hill just of starvation. It's a hill nobody else is trying to come anywhere near. It's just
the
an
John
abandoned
Krakauer
hill.
version of dying on a hill.
I think Lars and I are on a hill together on this one.
Yeah, but we're both agreeing to die there. Like nobody is fighting us on it.
No. This is where we shall die.
Okay, but of what?
This
what
is
are we
our
dying of
boneyard.
here on this hill?
Audio poisoning?
Audio poisoning. Inner ear.
The silent
trauma.
killer.
No, not the silent killer.
Oh, damn it. Oh, totally bobbled that joke.
Well, this is good. I don't know that anybody would care about this, but I do. I really care about it. Hey, listener, if you're working in a job that and you're pissed off about how crummy your conference calls are, try to get them to buy microphones for everybody. See what happens. Come on the Discord and I'll tell you what microphone to make your company buy you. Right?
If nothing else, Lars, it's about time we had an opening segment that you didn't edit at all because all of it felt completely precious to you.
Yeah.
And necessary, really.
And it wasn't about hogs.
And it's the correct length because we are moving on right now to our... I want to thank people who have taken the time to leave reviews for us. We got this review on Apple Podcasts Canada, our an international podcast review. Reviews coming in from all around the globe for this show. They're saying the best gold this side of Apple Podcasts. This is Solo Z. They say that charming cast of players and characters along with memorable jingles. make this one of their favorite 2E podcasts out there. And I'm going to say thank you. That's very, very kind.
Yes,
thank you very much.
I appreciate it. And guess what? It's episode 95. That means we're going to do a little bit of promotional stuff. That's what we do every time we break off a 5. So here's something for you. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@tabletopgold.
Yeah, arroba.
That's the @ symbol. We put up an episode last week, a special bonus episode that we called 94.0. It's a 0 session that Armet and I recorded to develop his character, Istin.
Ooh, I'm excited. I want to go listen.
Go listen. It's up right
too.
now.
We were all excluded from that because we didn't want to know anything about Istin.
Yeah.
We had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
But now the embargo is over because we, like you, listener, can go check out Tabletop Gold's YouTube channel. YouTube.com/ and I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Arroba.
Yep.
Tabletop Gold.
Tabletop Gold.
I'm so jealous you could roll your R's.
That R was rolling a long way. I can roll
it's still rolling
short
somewhere.
distances. Yeah. David's got the old it's a tank treads on that R. Just keeps on rolling.
Yeah.
Our Twitch, you can find us at twitch.tv/tabletopgold, where you can hear our ongoing series, Godmaker, where we homebrew deities with the aid of chat. It's a great time. It's very different from what we do now, but it is still us. So if you like us and you want to hear us do something different, check out Godmaker. And what else do we got going on here? We've got our Discord. You can find the link to that at www.tabletopgold.com. You can chat with all of the friends of Hoot over on the Discord. It's a great time. And you talk about things and they talk back to you. You can find some of the music that I've composed for the show at larscasteen.bandcamp.com. You can hear some of the battle music, some of the scene settings, some of the emotional music, the soundtrack of the show. You can hear it right there. You can
play it while you shower.
Play it while you shower. Play it
while you're... whenever I enter a room.
Yes, you can play it whenever you open a door. You can rig up some sort of device.
Picking your neighbor's lock? Play Lars's music.
That's right.
Really, you can use it anywhere.
If you're doing a little B&E, why don't you just attach my music to what it is that you're doing? That'd be great. Use it for your home game is what I was trying to say. But anyway, okay, let's move on. Let's get into it. Let's play our game. I probably should have written an intro for this week. Yikes.
Just plug the YouTube channel again.
Okay.
It'll make sense.
They're going to be like, what? What happened to this podcast?
Lars got stuck on a loop.
That did happen with me once with a podcast. Some of these podcasts that have like dynamically loading ads where they like drop 30 seconds or a minute, sometimes you get caught in like a weird Groundhog Day.
It'll play the same thing for you a couple of times.
It's awful. It's so
especially
awful.
Seems to happen most often when it is effectively geo-targeting you.
Yes.
Because like there aren't very many like that. So it's like, holy shit, you're in Virginia.
Yeah.
I am giving you this thing about this weird event 4 times now.
I'm going to talk to you about this union that we're trying to bust in Virginia. That's what it usually is for me with the geolocated stuff. Is it's like
you get union busting.
I do. They're like, we're a family at this Amazon warehouse. And I'm just like, why is this what I'm hearing right now?
I wonder what your online behavior is that you've been tagged as a union buster.
I wasn't going to say it.
I hate unions. What can I tell you?
I guess it's all the Googling you're doing of I hate unions.
How to be a scab.
I like the idea of just Googling sentiments, like not questions, but just see what Google gives you when you put in I hate unions.
Yeah. Here I am, this captain of industry.
Labor costs too high these days is a thing that I type into Google sometimes.
Maybe also nobody wants to work.
Right. Dear Google. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
You're exploring the dungeons below Gauntlight with a new companion, a half-elf spellcaster in heavy armor who claims to be the son of your fallen ally, Haplo. After winding your way through the labyrinthine hallways surrounding Belcora Haravex's arena, you found a high-security area. A double door protected by a portcullis and arrow slits. Strangely enough, upon getting past this obstacle, you've been invited in by a whispering voice, just as magical darkness has surrounded you. Friends, we're breaking off a new 5. Hero points have reset to 1. And a new assortment of hero point cards has been dealt out. These are cards submitted by folks over at our Discord server. And you have them now. You know what else you have? You have a curtain of magical darkness washing over you. Slipping past Istin, slipping past Ao and Mag, and finally slipping past Trill. Shrouding you all in darkness as you hear this eerie whisper coming from inside the room. Come closer. Oh. Mag, you look down at your wayfinder, and it's just pitch black in front of you. You can't see it. Ao has Frown casting light, but Frown is in her pocket right now, right?
Yep.
Istin, who has had light cast on his staff by Trill, sees the darkness wash over him and hears a sound of movement a short distance away, but then sees crackling tendrils of light escape from the staff, making a network like of roots of light reaching out from the staff and eventually dissipating the magical darkness around him.
Whoa.
Nice.
That is awesome.
So while the Wayfinder has had its light suppressed, Trill's light spell still works.
Oh, that must be because it's heightened, right?
Sorry, is Frown putting out anything or no?
Yeah, Frown in your pocket. You see a glow coming from your pocket.
Yeah.
And this is something that we worked out ahead of time, is that Frown, the Kitsune familiar that Ao has, today has the familiar ability Cantrip Connection, letting Ao cast light. She's casting it on Frown, and she can, for an action, rip Frown from a pocket to dangle this tooth, this magical familiar tooth, from her armor, shedding light, if she wants to, for an action.
I think you mean gently remove her companion and soulmate.
Sorry, you're right.
I don't think she'd rip. I mean...
So as this light crackles forward out of Istin's staff, you get a good look at a figure standing in front of you. A woman with long hair wielding 2 sharp swords with glowing eyes in the middle of her face where eyes normally are. There's nothing strange about the placement of her eyes. Just bear with me.
That's an awesome outfit, actually.
No, she looks great. I just showed the art. She, though, is the one area where this magical light is not extending. You're looking at her, and she is shadow itself, shifting back and forth in front of you, a grin crossing her face as her 2 swords trail along the stone floor in front of you. And she says, "Let's put out that light, shall we?" And she starts moving towards you, and I would need you right now to please roll for initiative. Yeah. Roll for initiative.
I feel okay about stealth. You feel okay about stealth?
I feel great about stealth. Especially because you don't have light going. First combat with Istin. What are we going to see?
I am so excited. Well,
I'm mega excited.
You're going to have to wait a little bit longer because he rolled terribly on initiative.
Okay. So, Armat, you've already said Istin rolled poorly. What did you get?
I got a 21, which I think, unfortunately, puts me at the back of the pack.
Zoe, how are you doing? And also, what did you roll for initiative?
27.
Okay. Pretty quick. David, what did you roll for Mag?
Just fine, thank you. It's a 27 as well.
Okay. Robin, how are you doing?
Well, thankfully, I'm not rolling 3s anymore. So Trill ended up with a 26. I thought a 26 would be good, but dang. Ao and Mag did really well.
Ao and Mag did really well, but they did not do as well as this shadowy figure in front of you. And what she is going to do now is step forwards in the blink of an eye towards Istin.
This is where I wish I'd taken attack of opportunity.
And as she moves towards you, again, in a blink of an eye, it's like you've lost track of her, and then suddenly she's right in front of you, and one of these swords is jutting out towards Istin for a quick, graceful strike. A 35 to hit.
Oof, that is exactly a crit.
Oof.
Okay.
Good way to start.
Yikes.
So, a weak point in Istin's armor gets penetrated for 38 points of negative damage.
And I'm going to steal a bit from David here when I say, I think Istin would say something like, oh!
Yeah. And as you say that, you see her sword trail back away from you. Plumes of shadow coming off of it as you feel your shadow being forcefully pulled from your body.
Oh, another one of
this
these.
thing again.
And you're now enfeebled 3.
What? Oh, that's so bad.
Whoa, that's so bad.
Oh my God.
Enfeebled, as we know, means that strength-based checks and other strength-based stuff is going to have a penalty to it. So, attack rolls, athletics checks.
You're not a dex build, are you?
I am no longer a dex build. But I do think after the hit lands, Istin cracks his neck a little bit, rolls his shoulders, grabs his staff, and says, I love this part, and grins a fierce smile.
And as he does that, Ao or Mag can take their turns.
I think Ao would let Mag go. I mean, I'm not going to get an advantage by going before you, and I don't think it's her way to, she's not want to put herself on the line if someone else is willing to. It's just not who she is.
Thank you. Mag will wait for Trill because there's not a lot that Mag can do to incorporeal things without help.
And Ao seeing Mag falls back to wait for Trill also.
Okay, so both Mag and Ao pause for a moment as it is now Trill's turn.
So, I think Trill this time around is going to play a kind of like creepy Halloween-y song. And we'll use Lingering Comp into Dirge of Doom.
Wait, lingering composition into Dirge of Doom. So this is a whole new thing that we're doing, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. I'm very excited to see how this goes.
Me too. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, guys. Oh, target an enemy. Whoops. I'm not used to targeting an enemy.
Yeah, because the DC for Dirge of Doom is based on who you're targeting, just like the DC for Inspire Courage is based on who you're targeting. So Inspire Courage, you're targeting your friends, right? But now you're targeting enemies.
So it was a failure. Darn. So nothing happens.
That's not true.
No? What happens with a failure? Oh, it's just a failure on Lingering Comp.
Yes.
Right. So I don't lose the focus point, so that's fine. But Dirge of Doom is still cast, right?
Yes. Meaning that this shadow is going to be frightened 1 for 1 round, and then it comes back around to you, and they will not be frightened anymore, and you'll need to make new songs.
Okay. And with Trill's next action, she's going to turn around, reach back, and put her hand on Mag's maul and cast Ghostly Weapon, which I've been dying to cast for so long.
Thank you, Trill.
So ghostly weapon. The target weapon becomes translucent and ghostly and can affect material and incorporeal creatures and objects.
Awesome.
I get to bash a shadow.
Shadow back.
This is all you really
Shadow
wanted,
back.
I know, right?
That's it for Trill's turn. Huge turn from Trill. Let's see if it pays off with now it being either, again, Ao or Mag's turn because of the delay.
I'll go. Rage, stride, bash shadow.
Okay.
Down, 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 down. Lars, you're going to be able to license Thriller for this, right?
I think that Thriller, my understanding is that Michael Jackson, rest in peace, is no longer with us. There's no legal entity around that even is bothered keeping track of any of the
That's
Michael Jackson estate, compositions, master recordings, or any of that. So I'm actually considering replacing the entire soundtrack
with
of our show
MJ.
with
24. Did I hit?
David's got his glasses on. I don't know
Yes,
if
you did
Mag's
hit.
rage
You're not.
trained.
Do you want to throw rage on your tune there, David?
Yeah. I just
I don't
really
think I've ever
wanted
seen
to,
David so excited.
I really wanted to hit the shadow, so I didn't do any of this. Hit any of the buttons.
One thing that I think is really exciting about this is that Trill is scaring this shadow. Trill is playing music that this
cool.
shadow flinches back and then helping Mag. Mag runs forward, swings this now translucent but still enormous maul forward and crunches into this shadow. There's just this wispy bit of smoke gets crunched into like it is a side of beef.
Yeah.
Nice.
And go ahead and roll damage.
Shadowy side of beef.
It's a shadow getting hit with a hammer. For 27 damage.
Good amount of damage.
And all 27 of that goes through as your maul reaches through the veil of death and does a massive hit against this shadow.
Wow. Oh, and just a single tear of exultation runs down Mag's face.
Look at him, Mag.
And it is now Ao's turn. And Zoe, there's something I want to bring up because it hasn't come up yet. You now have the Dread Striker feat, meaning anytime you do damage to a frightened enemy, you get to add your sneak attack damage.
Oh.
And which is to also say they are flat-footed to you.
Right.
So their AC is lower and you add sneak attack damage. So this is effectively a +3 to your attack from Trill.
Fascinating.
Whoa. Okay, Dirge of Doom is cool.
So Ao just goes, oh, hell no. And does a quick triple fire of arrows to see if she can take a nick out of this thing.
Okay, let's resolve those one at a time, please.
34 for the first one.
34 is a critical hit, an easy critical hit, as Chompers lets this arrow loose and you hit the shadow. Still wisps of shadow coming off of it, but you hit it in a really weak point.
That seems to be 48 points of damage. Did that include my sneak attack?
Yeah,
It did, I think.
It did. That was 2d6 from the bow, 2d6 from the sneak attack damage, and 1d10 because a short bow is deadly, meaning it adds extra damage on a critical hit.
Hey.
So 48 points of damage. Not all of that damage is going to go through,
Like
though.
a bunch of it, because that number is so big. I mean, it's
Yes.
just such a big number.
A ton of it goes through, and this shadow is now just a few plumes of black smoke in front of Mag and Istin. This is the most well-prepared, messed up thing I have seen, which means, of course, a hero point for Trill because the amount that she did to set up just this 1-2 volley of damage from Ao and Mag is
Totally agree.
totally a hero point.
My migraine thanks you for the hero point.
Of course. And Ao has 2 more actions.
All right. Arrow number 2 is a 23.
23 hits.
All right. And that's 14 points of damage.
Okay, just a little bit of damage that time as the arrow pulls a little bit of the shadow away, but it still sort of dissipates around the arrow as it flies past.
Dissipate entirely, Ao hisses between her teeth and fires off one last arrow. For 20.
And that 20...
Not on the die.
That 20 misses. That first arrow that you hit critically with does pin the shadow to the wall somehow.
Right.
Whoa.
I think that's legal.
How is that a thing?
You can't use athletics checks to immobilize it.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Incorporeal creatures usually have an immunity to effects or conditions that require a physical body, like disease, poison, and precision damage. Oh, so she's immune. Okay. So I'm going to say that because she doesn't have a body, she's not immobilized, she's not pinned to the wall. And I'm going to say that she gets a little bit of that damage back as well.
Oh no, now I'm super pissed.
Yeah, sorry.
Now anytime someone talks, I'm just going to go,
Oh no, please don't. No, that's more pain for me.
For your sake, Robin, I won't. But for Lars, otherwise it would be happening.
Okay.
What if we just make everything really punny?
And you know what? I'm taking that hero point back from Trill, too. Just kidding. Istin sees these two arrows pass through the shadow in front of him. He is barely able to hold up his body within his heavy armor, given how horribly enfeebled he is. What's he going to do?
He's going to lean heavily on his staff, but he's still grinning for some reason, and says, "Oh, that was a good one. Seems to me you've got a bit of a dark attitude. How about you lighten up?" And he tosses a produce flame at her.
Okay, flame pours out of Istin's hands.
That is a 20.
That misses as the flame slams into the door behind the shadow, causing no damage.
Ah, well, can't win them all. And with that, he does this sort of esoteric breathing technique and uses his last action to enter into his arcane cascade stance.
Arcane cascade?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It's a special magus ability that after they've cast a spell, they can keep some of that energy cycling through their body and add 1 extra damage to all strikes they make while they stay in arcane cascade striking stance. I'm so excited about this new character.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
So, Istin, a quick miss. Flames start pouring around him, and it is now the top of round 2. It's now the turn of this shadow. And what she's going to do, as she's been cornered against a door in the northern part of the room by Mag and Istin, is...
Surrender.
Run away like a little bitch?
Whisper, "Join me."
Ooh.
To Istin as she plunges a sword back into him, aiming at the same spot that she hit him in before.
Oh boy.
And that's a 30 to hit.
That'll hit.
So Istin takes 21 more points of negative damage and becomes enfeebled 4.
Okay, but we're definitely glimpsing that one, right?
Yeah, we should.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to use my glimpse feat from Vadim.
Yeah.
And as she does that, she rips Istin's shadow out from his body. And now Istin's shadow emerges next to her and joins the combat.
What a bummer.
Mag do an attack of opportunity on the emergence of the shadow?
So this is the steal shadow action that she's taking. I don't see a manipulate trait there. She does it in just the blink of an eye. Stab, rip, and suddenly Istin is looking at his shadow, and so is Mag.
And so the fact that the shadow has just moved from, let's say, the square where Istin was to the square that it now occupies
didn't move?
Wouldn't be considered a move?
Not a move.
Okay.
I see what you're saying.
Can I bash Istin? I don't know. I'm just excited.
And she is now going to... She sees Mag's maul.
Is just admiring something but not doing anything to it an action?
Yes.
Mag looks at this shadow, sees it blending into Mag's own shadow cast by the light emanating from Isten's staff as she attempts to hide inside Mag's shadow. It's a 22 stealth. If your perception is plus 12 or higher, you can see her. Otherwise, she is hidden from you. So it looks like she hides from all of you. Mag knows that she is lurking within her own shadow, but cannot see her particularly well. And it is now Trill's turn.
Does that a move? I mean, didn't she move into my square?
That's a hide action that she did. She didn't move into your square. She's hiding in your shadow as it extended into her square.
A lot of convenient rulings for you here. I'm just saying.
For what it's worth, I did take 1,000,000 points of damage already.
Then you somehow got rid of those. You were like, that's true. There was too many.
No,
I can't handle
not.
it. So I'm going to come up with a rule where I get rid of some of them.
No, you're right.
How does this work with Trill's targeting? With now that it's hiding?
You can target her. It's just that she's hidden from you, so anything that's targeting her needs to make a DC 11 flat check. Or you could, if you'd like to, take an action to seek her, in which case you make a perception check versus her stealth DC, and if you succeed at it, she becomes observed by you.
Oh, or could you do that color shit? And so we can all
that's
see
literally
her?
what I was thinking. Does this would Fairy Fire work on this?
Well, let's see. What does Fairy Fire do? Let's read the spell.
It has to do with being concealed.
Yeah, so visible creatures can't be concealed while affected by Fairy Fire. If they're invisible, they're concealed while affected by Fairy Fire. I don't know. It's sort of an edge case in my mind. I'd say if they can't be concealed, they probably can't be hidden either. So I would say that she would become observed to you.
So, okay, so Trill's actually going to start. She's going to curse a little bit first. Because she's annoyed that it had to change her plan. She had a really great plan. And now having to cast Fairy Fire throws it all off. But it's okay, because Mag's got a big magical maul now. So Trill goes ahead and casts Fairy Fire.
Okay. And Fairy Fire has no save. It's just there's a 10-foot burst. And so now both of these shadows are surrounded by a colorful, heatless fire of a color of your choice. What color is this fire?
I was going to say purple, but actually I think I'm going to decide that this one's going to be more of a sparkly yellow.
Okay, a yellow fire surrounds her as she is hiding within Mag's shadow, and she is now not hidden anymore.
And now that Trill can exactly place where she is, Trill's going to go ahead and try lingering. Well, actually, maybe I don't even need lingering comp. I have a feeling it's not going to need that extra possible waste of the focus pool. So Trill's just going to cast Dirge of Doom.
Another burst of a terrifying song as both of the shadows become frightened.
To continue to leave that down, yeah. Leave that there to mess with them.
Another big turn from Trill as Mag has been served up a glowing, frightened shadow. And also another glowing, frightened shadow.
You're welcome.
All right, well, let's start by hitting...
The one that makes more shadows?
Yeah, the one that makes more shadows. The OG shadow lady. With my first action, I will attempt to bash her flat with my giant hammer. That's a 34 to hit. Do I have to roll some kind of check to see whether I can...
she is glowing yellow. This shadow is glowing yellow. You know what, though? What spell did you cast what level did you cast Fairy Fire at?
Okay, enough with the clawing shit back. We see what you're up to.
I cast I didn't even... Because Fairy Fire isn't... it's a second level because it's not one of my... what's it spells?
Signature.
signature spells, yeah.
Yeah, so that light spell is suppressed by her shadow, so that she is still hidden. So I do need a flat check from Mag.
Wait, what?
For goodness sake.
I'm sorry, explain that. So did that mess up my Dirge of Doom or no?
No, Dirge of Doom is fine. That doesn't target anybody, but your Fairy Fire did not proc on it. This is the scummiest fight I have ever run.
You're literally just everything you've cheated on.
Listen, I'm doing a terrible job tonight. I'm going to be right up front with you.
We know.
I'm not proud of what I'm doing either, and yet I'm doing it.
Neither are we.
Let's all be kinder to Lars, starting with Lars.
What is the point of this relationship if not becoming hateful with him every time he cheats?
That's what I keep saying to my wife.
Whoa!
Hey-o!
Hey-o!
Turn into Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, that's right. Get her done.
I'm just going to give you that flat check.
Okay, thanks.
That's a 20.
Okay, good. You passed it.
Okay. Then it's a 34 to hit.
Okay, that's a critical hit.
Alrighty, let's roll critical damage. Yeah, and I'm imagining because there was all this business about trying to hide in Mag's shadow, that therefore, in order to attempt this strike, Mag has had to spin sort of like half turn, and she's making an uppercut with the maul, starting at her feet where her shadow originates, swinging upwards in almost a 6 to 12 type arc against the door and the wall. Not a great damage roll, but still 36 damage.
And you slam that with that almost like, it sounded like you were describing like a golf swing almost.
Yes. Yeah.
And the shadow gets wrapped around the maul, throwing its arms and legs forward like a baseball thrown into a sheet hanging on a laundry line. And then she just completely blows apart. And Istin's shadow slowly sinks back onto the ground and reintegrates itself back into him.
She's gone, so I don't have to bash the other one. So I don't get to bash the other one.
That's right. Everyone's disappointed with me all the time.
Well, see, that was also the reason why I didn't bother doing the lingering comp, because I had a feeling once we killed the creator, the other one would go away.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was right.
Well, next time I'm killing the blaster before the master, just because
just to do it.
With that, Ao pulls out her lantern of empty light and turns it on, and she's like, "Got her."
Mag ignores this, and I imagine maybe her maul has ended up very, very slightly embedded in the wall behind. And so she's gingerly loosening it and pulling it free. And then she begins checking over the head to see if there's any sign of any remnant on it. And there's nothing.
Hey, are you all right, bud? And Ao sort of puts a hand on Istin's shoulder, realizing that he's perhaps not as strong as he was when he came in.
He's only enfeebled 4, baby.
And near death.
Yeah. I think at this point, Istin, having seen the shadows disapparate, has just collapsed back onto the ground, much as he was when Ao first bumped into him in town. And he's lying on his back, staring up at the stone ceiling of the dungeon room. Looks up at Ao and goes, "That was brilliant! Did you see that thing when it pulled my shadow out? That was incredible! Also, yes, I'm in great deal of pain, though. I could use some help."
All right, Mr. Enthusiasm. And she pulls out her medical kit and begins she takes this pulse. She's wrapping some gauze around him.
You've got to teach me that technique, Mag. That upward strike was brilliant.
So we're it sounds like you're taking some time to do some treating of wounds. This is something we haven't done a lot of because we've had Vadim's lay on hands. the deal with treat wounds is that you declare a DC before you make the medicine check to see how much healing you're trying to get done at once. So the lowest level DC is DC 15. You can target that if you're trained or higher in medicine. DC 20 is the expert DC. You can target that if you're expert or higher in medicine, and then it goes up from there. So what DC did you target?
Ao did 20 without a time crunch and ever confident in her own abilities. She rolled a 30, so she was right. She's amazing, and that's a critical success.
Great. So you do 48 plus 10 healing.
That's 22 healing.
Awesome.
4d8.
Yeah, gets me every time.
I was sure he said like 48 plus 10. Like, oh, cool. So 58 healing. Nice.
There was once where it was damage. It was the amount of damage. It was like 48 plus something. And I was like, oh my God.
D6. He was saying
66.
6d6. I was like, he's getting 66 points of damage? That's
so much damage.
She's going to die.
So then we got to do another round, right?
Yeah, so because you have continual recovery, you can wait only 10 minutes instead of 1 hour. So Ao's training that she did on this downtime to help her out with medicine is immediately having an impact here.
Ao's incredible scam to mug people and then repair them is paying off in more ways than one.
Training.
So she does D20 again and rolls a 17, which is a failure.
Okay. So she keeps working on Istin and does not get much of anywhere with it.
Where does it hurt? And she like pokes at a rib.
Yeah, that was it. That was definitely it.
10 minutes pass, Ao goes again, does a D20 and gets a 25 for 16 points of healing.
Oh, thank you. I feel much better.
Oh yeah, you'll be back to good in no time. Just the worst thing about fights like this is that you don't get any teeth out of it, and they just disappear. And
teeth.
Mag, is your hammer back to normal?
Yes, it is, says Mag from the far corner of the room, where she is looking for things. Anything in here now that it's all lit up?
So David, I'll tell you about what's happening with Mag in just a second. What that means is that Ao is able to get Istin, all of those medicine check means that Ao is able to get Istin back up to full hit points after 40 minutes. So
am I still enfeebled?
You are still enfeebled. Oh. Yes. The enfeeblement that was given to you by this shadow seems to be lingering. You continue to feel weak.
I felt like this happened last time. Wasn't Mag the one who kept getting enfeebled? I'm trying to remember.
Can Ao do like a medicine check to see if she can understand more about what's happening?
Yeah. And if anybody wants to make another a knowledge check, religion also seems like it would be relevant.
Yeah, I was going to say Trill kind of starts to remember something and does a religion check.
Would Arcana apply, potentially?
I don't think so.
Yeah?
No, I don't think so.
Someday someone in this party will have religion as a skill, but still
I
not today.
Trill has religion now.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, Trill got religion a little while ago. So Trill ended up Trill rolled a 25 on that religion check.
Okay. So Ao, Trill, and Istin all take a look at how his strength has been sapped out from his body. And you get the sense that the strength is returning to him slowly as his shadow starts to stitch more and more tightly onto his body.
Mm.
And we don't understand anything we could do aside from wait.
It seems like time is what you've got to do unless you have something else that directly addresses enfeebled as a status.
Ale looks him seriously in the eyes. She's like, I think we have to amputate.
How do we amputate my shadow, though?
And Mag is also searching around the area as Ao is treating Istin's wounds. Where would you like to search?
Let's start with the walls and the floor.
You see this double door leading off to the west that you have yet to open. This double door is made of iron and has rust all over it. And if you look over to the door that you came through to the east, Mag sees an emblazoned carving of a dripping skull, its mouth stuffed with weeds.
That's the door we came through?
That's the door you came through.
Okay. And there's no furniture, no stuff, nothing on the ceiling. Just
Not here. There are doors leading off to the north and south that you can sort of interpret from Trill's examination of the arrow slits, that those doors might lead to where those arrow slits would have let guards set up a defensive position.
Okay. After completing this investigation, Mag locks eyes with Istin. This place is filled with horrors, many like the one you've just encountered.
Right.
So are you feeling well enough to continue?
Oh, I think for now. Just until my shadow comes back together. Then I'll really be tip-top. But I do feel much better. I can still sling a spell or two. Don't need strength for that.
Mag, by way of assessment, takes the Wayfinder from her chest and very quickly, like in one very quick rapid motion, moves it at full arm's length, which of course changes the light in the room and changes the shadows. And as she does this, she's looking for any sign of physical reaction from Istin.
I think that what Mag sees is that the shadow takes time to keep up with the light. And it just seems like that's similar to how Istin looks right now. Like Istin's shoulders are being held down by his armor. His staff is hanging hard against his arm. So the shadow lags as you move your light, and also he looks depleted.
Ayo quietly giggles to herself. She's a little distance away. Realm, it's not nice to call him dead weight.
And Mag tries to lock eyes with Trill as her light experiment concludes and gives her a not exactly a searching look, but sort of a, okay, are we doing this kind of look.
Do we have anything in the bag of holding that could help with this?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let's take a look.
While all this is going on, can Istin try and recall knowledge about what it was we just fought?
Sure, give me a religion check. And you know what? The religion check you gave me before would address that, no problem. So
awesome.
you know that this is as you were trying to examine what's going on with your shadow, you know that this was a creature known as a greater shadow. Similar to the butler that the party fought, without Istin on the second floor of this dungeon. Just stronger. Do you have any specific information that you'd like to know about greater shadows?
Yeah. What's their weakest save?
Fortitude.
No kidding. Would not have guessed that.
I think that Istin, as he's thinking about incorporeal undead, probably reaches the conclusion that that's relatively common. That there isn't a lot of fortitude. There isn't a thickness to body of ghosts and shades and shadows and the like.
Got it. Well, that was absolutely brilliant. You learn something new every day. Or you recall knowledge about it and realize you already knew it, I suppose.
So at the end of the 40 minutes, you're all in more or less tip-top shape, aside from the strength drain that Istin is suffering from. And I think this is a nice moment to jump out of game for a second. As a magus, Istin has 2 attack deals. He can use his brain to attack people, or he can use his body. So if his body is out of commission, he's got stuff he can do.
And that stuff is his brain stuff.
It's brain stuff, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty gross.
Do you remember how, back in the early 2000s, every pop song talked about how you love somebody's brain? That's what Istin has right now.
That was a thing? I don't remember that.
I'm pretty sure in those songs it was slang meant to mean oral sex, but that's fine.
There's no way to say.
There's no way to say.
Well, let's forge ahead. If Isten's down to limp along, who are we to stop him? He doesn't mean much to us.
Yeah, we haven't developed any attachments to him yet.
Nope.
And there was nothing in the bag of holding?
I'm not the most reliable source here, but just from a quick scan, I don't really believe there's anything in there that'll address this particular ill.
Yeah, we'll just play
good.
Backline then.
Yeah, so we'll head through the door to the north.
Widdershins? Ale grumbles?
Well, clockwise starting at the top of the clock, and then
Don't rationalize this, Mag.
As Mag rationalizes it, she pushes the door open and finds herself looking into a guard station that it has empty weapon racks in it. And then another door leading off to the east as she looks into this small 20 by 10 foot room.
Well, there's no way she's going to touch any of the weapon racks.
I was about to say.
Been down that
Ao uses
road.
her mage hand to do a quick sweep of the weapon racks.
And they seem to just be empty.
Trill starts looking under and behind and
I was gonna
around.
say,
Yeah, is there any
Same.
fun treasure?
Don't find anything hidden in this room, just the doorway leading off to the east.
Well, then why is it here?
do we hear anything? And Ao puts her ear up next to the door.
You don't hear anything. It's dead silent.
All right, well, we'll open the door. Mag will open the door to the east then.
The first thing you notice when you look into this archer station is that there is a lever in front of you from a vantage point that you can see looking around the corner here. You can see the portcullis that you lifted up into the ceiling.
Oh.
I see. So to Mag's crafting eye, would this seem to be the sort of mechanism for opening and raising and lowering that portcullis?
Yes.
So this is a serious pinch point. Like, this was designed to make it very specifically more hazardous and difficult to get past that particular door and into, I guess, this area of...
Or into
Someone
behind
wanted
those
to
double
keep us
doors.
safe.
Right, exactly. Like, we're right now in the little guard zone. There's probably another one, but...
What were they trying to protect or hide in here?
Isten perks up a little and looking up from his staff goes, I don't know, but I hope we find it soon. Come on, let's go and look in the other guard station. And he starts walking out the door down towards the south.
Yeah.
I love how cheerful Isten is.
I don't know about this guy. Ao's mumbling to Frown, just like having a whole conversation with him.
He's kind of like clomping rather rapidly, like much faster than you would think for a guy who is enfeebled 4.
So you step into this southern guard chamber, it sounds like?
Yep.
And you again see these dusty weapon racks. And as you're searching the room, all of you, except for Trill, see that there is a odd-looking hook on one of the room's weapon racks.
Ooh, hang on. What's that then? And Isten will go up and look at it.
Hold on, don't touch that.
Yeah,
And Ao
don't
sends
touch
her
that
mage
quite
hand.
yet.
He touches it. He totally touches it.
I didn't even notice that.
The mage hand slaps his hand away.
Hey, no, that wasn't very nice.
Mag is reaching forward with her maul, trying to like hook him back with the head of the hammer.
He's just clomping too fast.
And Ao locks eyes with him. I do the reckless things around here. Get a lane.
Oh, sorry.
I love that. So who do we know who grabs this hook or not? What's the
Seems
resolution?
like maybe a combo of Isten and the mage hand.
Stories telling of the heroism of the heroes of Otari are still undecided to this day as to whether it was Isten or Ao who pulled the hook on the weapon rack. But what everyone agrees upon is that it opened up a secret door leading into a hallway. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, I bloody love that.
And as she like pokes her head in to take a look down this secret hallway, Mag mutters under her breath, "Everyone is the one who does reckless things."
Trill's a little upset that she didn't notice the pulley to get into the secret room.
Right? That's like her thing.
One thing that Trill does notice, maybe as a faint consolation prize for not seeing the secret room, she finds two objects behind the weapon rack that are like long, hollow proboscis that look like they were removed from an enormous insect.
Hey, guys, take a look at this. This is cool and weird and upsetting.
Not a tooth.
I mean, for an insect is kind of what they'd use as a tooth.
Whatever, not a tooth.
If anybody wants to try to identify what this is, you could spend 10 minutes looking
Would this
at
maybe be an oddity?
This doesn't seem like it has anything to do with emotion or mental. Is that the deal with oddity identification?
I don't even remember.
I'm going to say that
It's
Trill,
so long
looking
since
at this,
I've
gets the sense that this is some kind of talisman.
Ooh, okay.
How about swamp lore?
Yeah, I'd let Swamp Lore work for this, for sure.
Yes.
It's a bug, yeah.
Arcana. Would Arcana work?
Arcana would
identify?
work, but who
It's
is it
been-
that's doing this? Who's going to be examining it first for 10 minutes?
Mag, swamp lore. It's
Okay.
been ages.
Okay. Yeah, give me a blind Swamp Lore check, please.
Blind, swamp lore. Check.
Mag, looking this thing over, identifies it as something called a Bloodseeker beak.
Mm.
This is the beak of a creature that she has heard of in the swamps. Maybe she's fought them before, called a Bloodseeker. That is like a large blood-sucking mosquito, like a mosquito with a wingspan of a couple feet, right?
Oh, those. Oh, no, big bugs again. No.
And this is something that you can affix to a weapon. You spend 10 minutes affixing it. And if you hit a flat-footed creature with that weapon, you deal extra precision damage on your damage roll. But if you already deal sneak attack damage to the creature, like Ao can, then you can also deal bleed damage.
Yeah, this sounds like an AO thing.
Oh, yeah.
Will it work for the bow or just...
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Ooh, like a special blood-sucking arrow.
Yeah, basically.
That's
This
pretty cool.
this thing, it's a magical item that you consume by spending a free action and envisioning it wounding your foe even more. So
Yeah, that
you don't
definitely
need
sounds
to
like
worry too much about the like mechanical logistics of it. This thing is magic.
I'll say, Ao says, grabbing it, maybe it's closer to a tooth than I thought. She's sort of like holding it up and looking at it.
Yeah, I told you.
So if you'd like to affix that to your weapon, that would be 10 minutes to do.
Well, I think I can do all sorts of things. And then she like begins, wrapping it around Chompers, and she's like adding more teeth to the bows.
Nothing creepy about that at all.
Crafting? Or do I just...
No,
Just
it just works after 10 minutes.
All right.
And as Ao finishes affixing the Bloodseeker beak to her bow, Istin is now enfeebled 3.
Oh.
Ooh, I'm starting to feel perky again.
As the strength returns to his body.
And I think as he feels that, he starts hobbling with his staff down the secret hallway, turning back only as he's about 5 feet down the hallway, being like, "How are you coming? Keep up!"
I think Mag will take a moment to just poke her head into the other door to the east and just kind of make a quick sweep to verify that it's in fact, the mirror image of its twin to the north.
So maybe you do that while Ao is affixing the Bloodseeker beak to her bow.
Yeah, that tracks.
The this southern archer chamber looks identical to the other one, except it doesn't have that release lever to control the portcullis.
Okay.
But cobwebs are stretched across the room, and it seems like long ago archers would have been set up here to make this an impenetrable choke point.
Wonder what they were protecting.
I think that Mag, with her crafting knowledge, would get the sense that these arrow slits are pointing at the western side of the portcullis, so they are most likely protecting everything to the east of here.
I see.
Like the room where the shadow was.
This is the front door, or a side door to the dungeon.
We came at this thing from its
east.
From the back, from its back. Like we went through the portcullis backwards.
You entered from the place that this door is protecting.
Oh,
I see.
So that means that everything, like the places we've been before, would be what was back there. I mean, there's the arena with the giant Shanragal. I guess there's the various flesh warped
and the flesh warping areas.
Yeah, right. So it was like so this was a more like secret flesh warping.
Or perhaps
zone.
this was like because it's
Well, this is probably the entrance for spectators of the gladiatorial pits.
Oh,
nice. It's like airport security. They're TSA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're in the TSA lobby.
To get in, you
I
have to go
see.
through security, yeah.
So you had to like leave your cell phone so you don't take any video and put it on the internet.
You had to drink your water real fast.
That's right.
Right.
So you could bring
Sorry,
your
I should
empty
have
bottle
mentioned
with
there's
you.
a mountain of plastic water bottles that have yet to decompose at all in the corner of the octagonal room.
Oh, man.
You hate
Some
to see
problems
it.
just never change.
So I guess maybe if you're a spectator, you can't bring your own weapons and you can't bring your own,
that's what I
magic.
was
So
gonna
you
say.
gotta like neutralize everybody before they come into this area and watch the gladiators.
She doesn't want
Well,
anyone
they also probably
threatening
didn't
her.
want to get busted by any guard units or anything. Like, I bet this opens out onto a part outside Otari so that the spectators wouldn't have to go through the town.
Got it. So this is like it makes the thing seem more illicit.
But wasn't Otari built after Belcora fell anyway, so.
Oh, solid point. Yeah, good call.
We are down now on the 5th level, so maybe this is an entry point to, like, the... what is the land where the Morlocks are from called?
The Darklands.
The Darklands. Could this be like an entry point to the Darklands?
Who knows? Not us. I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, well, that was worth a look, and now it seems like we're headed down the secret hallway.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Istin is leading the way down this secret hallway.
Staggering along.
Yep.
Right.
Just clomping with his staff.
And the door at the end of the hallway opens into a bedroom, like a sleeping chamber. And there's dust covering everything in this room. There's a narrow bed in it, a warped wooden wardrobe, and a large footlocker.
Trill immediately beelines for that footlocker.
Trill hastily runs to the footlocker and opens it and finds a wide-brimmed red hat with a large black feather inside. Finds a pouch, like a leather pouch, and a book.
Ooh, is that a book? A spy.
Yeah.
Trill hands the book over to Ishton and starts doing like detect magic on the, or not detect magic, but I guess what's the other one? Why am I forgetting it?
Like read
Forgetting my own
aura.
spells. Read aura on the hat, and what was the other thing that she pulled out?
There's a pouch.
Yeah, so both of them, she starts reading aura to see if there's any, like, what. It's got to be magical, she figures. So what
Yeah.
is it?
So she spends a couple minutes reading the aura. The first thing that she sees is that this hat has illusion magic all over it. And that the pouch has no magic. Reading aura, you spend a minute sort of manipulating the thing. You're able to open up this pouch and you just see a bunch of tiny non-magical emeralds inside of it.
Oh, so this is just valuable.
Didn't even have an emerald
Sweet.
logo on the front so that we'd know.
No.
Not yet.
No, they don't know how to organize their bags very well.
Or workmanship.
Istin sits down on the bed and starts leafing through the book.
Okay, the first thing that Istin notices is that this book looks very fragile, and he's concerned that he might break it if he tries to open it.
Oh, no, I can't have that. Maybe we can take it back to Morlabent and Carl, see if they can work some magic on it.
They probably really like that. Trill's still trying to figure this hat out, though, so it's got illusion magic on it.
And Ao is just sitting there waiting for the moment she can grab the hat and try it on. All she wants to do is, like, come up with a disguise with this hat.
If anybody wants to try to identify this hat, whether it's Ao or Trill, let me know.
Oh, yeah, Trill wants to identify.
Okay. Give me one of those checks I just put into chat, please. Trill, as she's looking at this item, her pendant of the occult flares to life and inspires her to a little bit of extra occult knowledge. And she identifies this hat as something called a greater hat of disguise. This is a hat that you put on your head, and you can, however often you want to, spend 2 actions to cast a second-level illusory disguise on yourself. When you wear this hat, you can make it disguise itself as like a comb, a ribbon, a helm, anything you want it to look like.
Once Trill realizes what it is, she kind of smiles for the first time all day and looks over, besides her when she's been, admiring Ishton's, very fit body. She smiles and looks at Ao.
Oh, Ao. This is definitely for you.
And she explains to Ao what it does and tosses it over.
Ao puts it on her head and immediately becomes Belcora in a fun hat.
So the first thing that you notice that's different about this disguise that Ao puts on versus the disguises that she's been doing with her disguise kit is her voice changes and takes on maybe not the exact voice of Belcora since she hasn't heard it, but her voice is magically altered.
Oh, no, go back, Ao, go back. Oh, this makes me uncomfortable.
Okay.
Ao probably is the only one who notices this with her long snout. She also notices that she herself smells different. So this heightened illusory disguise masks your voice and your scent as well as your visage.
Oh, that was weird. Okay. And then she suddenly she looks a little bit more like Rin. Like she's like messing around with being different people, but with the hat on.
Yeah, and you can do this any number of times per day. This is essentially an unlimited number of second-level illusory disguises that you can do.
Can Ao look like any of us?
I don't know. Let's try it out.
As Mag is wondering that to herself, she looks over, and Ao suddenly looks like Trill and has a Trill cake out, and she's like, "Look, Trill, now you're triplets."
Trill stands up and just goes nose to nose with Ao and starts pulling out her lute, expecting to do a whole dueling banjos.
So here's actually, I'm sorry, the one thing that Trill notices as she looks at Ao putting on this disguise is she's way too tall. This does not shrink her down. So Ao is able to magically disguise herself as anybody of a similar height.
Right.
So she can be a too tall Trill or a too short Mag. Or a just right Istin.
Roughly similar height within 6 inches and weight within 50 pounds. So any average-sized creature, Ao's going to have luck with.
So I think she's sort of flitting around, and if anyone was paying attention, which I assume everyone is sort of looking around and maybe, or she's doing this because people are not super paying attention, but she briefly flickers through being Vadim as a way of process, like for 5 seconds, and then flickers onto other people. She's the mayor, sort of mocking the mayor. Oh, Memorial 5,000, moves on to someone else.
After she's satisfied with that, you are able to pretty much effortlessly, in the matter of seconds, adopt the look, smell, and sound of whomever you would like.
That's ideal.
It's very good. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
Is she always wearing a big red hat, though? Like, I like that the dead giveaway is that it's just the person with a hat they'd never wear.
But you could make it look like whatever you want it to look like.
Right.
So it could be, fox ears.
Whomever owned this hat before was the sort of person who wore a big hat, a big black hat with a red feather.
Was it Carmen Sandiego? Have we finally answered where in the world she was?
Bop, doo, wop.
Oh, wait. So thinking back to the image you sent, so maybe this is the hat of that ghost that we just fought, of whoever that had been before.
Oh.
So she was like the head guard or something for this area, maybe. That's why she's got her room here.
And I bring that up because part of the way this hat works is that you can disguise it however you want to. Like, Ao can make this hat look anyway. So whatever calling card Ao wants to set up with it is totally cool. It's just that the person who wore this hat before, who seems like she was the shadow that you just fought in life, had a taste for large, extravagant hat wear.
I'm so curious about who that shadow was now. Because she was so well dressed. She looked like such an interesting character.
Yeah, I definitely want to get back and see if we can find a way to open that book, because I bet it's her journal or something.
Yeah, and Trill starts looking around a little bit more as she's making these connections, see if there's anything else in the room to give any clues.
So Trill doesn't see anything else in this room. If she wants to look at the book, it seems like if somebody were to make a thievery check, they could potentially open it up without injuring.
Oh, wait, could we use the on the book, could we use the scroll of mending on it?
If you were to break it, for sure.
But before it's actually broken, it wouldn't fix it, wouldn't do anything like make it stronger and make it work better.
It is not broken right now.
I think Ao has started to piece together that the hat might have been the shadows that they just defeated, and taking on a little bit of the shadows form. It occurs to her to check the book, and so she goes over and uses a thievery check, starting to look like the shadow to see if she can open the book.
All right, give me a thievery check, please.
So 33.
Ao is easily able to open the book carefully. A little bit of dust escapes from it, and you see the name Siora Fallowglade written on the inside of the book. And the book is a bone-chilling catalog of deadly poisons that somebody with some alchemical knowledge could potentially use to craft various nasty poisons.
Oh, I am so sorry I didn't roll an alchemical sciences investigator right now. Ugh. That would have been so cool.
There's always next time, man.
Yeah, I know.
Could we, in theory, show it to someone in town who has alchemical skills and have them make some of the potions for us?
I mean, I don't know if they'd want to, if these are so deadly.
I mean, the one person you know in town that has alchemical knowledge is Magaloy.
Ah, yes.
And that looks like it's about what you're able to learn from this room.
Let's put this in the bag of holding. Do you need 10 minutes to organize it, Mag?
Oh no, just to add a single item, it's well organized enough that should slide straight in. We have some alchemical items over here, so it's actually nice. This will complete the set of 6 vials over here, and then the balance is actually improved overall.
Ao's just flitting around the room going, "Come and join me. Come with me," in the shadows voice, and everyone's like, "Stop it, lay off, Jesus."
She smells just like that ghost smelled, so.
A little musty, kind of like basement.
Not a good smell, not a bad smell.
No, just damp.
Just earthy. Yeah.
So there's a door leading off to the south on the far end of this bed.
Yeah, Mag finishes making a note in the index for the bag of holding.
Okay.
And then places the index of the bag of holding back in the bag of holding index area within the bag of holding. And then she'll open the door to the south.
The door to the south leads into a long hallway, again crossed with cobwebs, that in the distance bends off to the east.
All right. Mag will keep wandering, watchfully, but purposefully down the hall.
Trill's looking for anything secret doors.
Trill finds, and I think Mag does as well, this is relatively simple to find. You find a secret door as this hallway bends off towards the east. It looks like this is not the side of the door that is meant to be concealed, but it is, flush against the wall in front of you as this hallway bends into a dead end. But it seems plainly like a secret door.
I see. So this on its face appears to be a complete dead end, but there just is a secret door.
Yeah, you see like the hinge for a secret door. That there's no attempt to disguise it.
We're not on the secret side of it.
Exactly. The secret door is on the other side of it.
Yeah, you're in the back rooms of this arena right now.
Okay. All right. Well, let's pop open the secret door and see what we're...
You pop open the secret door and you see once more the magical illumination of this 300-foot wide, 100-foot tall arena with the Chernicoff behemoth twisting aimlessly on the blood-soaked dirt floor 30 feet down.
Poor thing.
And you see...
And that
go ahead.
Would mean we're now looking all the way across it, and we're facing the first place where we encountered this big open arena was all the way, like we started off all the way on the eastern end of this kind of balustrade balcony thing, and now we're all the way on the far.
Exactly. And as you're looking into the arena, that far end that you can see, which like dots of magical illumination, give you a full view of the entire area. That's where like the gladiators' entrance is into the arena. So from this vantage point, you can see all of the balconies overlooking the arena. You can see the arena floor itself, and you can see the area through which the gladiators entered. You can see this enormous gong that would have been rung. This is the farthest back row of the arena in some ways.
So she was the security. The shadow.
Seems that way.
Trill walks in a little bit just to get a view of this space from this side and starts looking around.
So what Trill sees is that area filled with statues where you fought the basilisk, and you see a strange, wide, translucent window on the northern side of the arena that you have not yet examined.
Istin, stay quiet in here. That thing's a fucking monster.
Say what? All right. Sorry about that.
It responds to sound.
And then Ale turns into a small version of this Chernicoff and just thumps off after everyone.
Just disgusting. I'm going to say that this is not a convincing disguise. It's gross. No one's going to buy
stinky.
it.
Does it at least smell terrible?
Awful. So you creep along the northern edge of the arena up to where one of the first of these balconies is. And this balcony, with this magical light hanging from the end of it, as you walk by it, looks like a place where guests of Belcora would potentially have gotten a pretty good vantage point on the events happening within the arena.
Trill pokes around a little bit to see if anyone maybe dropped any coins around there.
It doesn't seem like there are any coins around here, but
or anything else of value.
And you don't really see anything else of value either. But you do see that there is a transparent window looking into a room to the north.
Someone hold me up so I can see.
Mag holds Trill up so she can see.
As Trill looks at this window, she sees that there are magical glyphs surrounding this and gets the sense that this is some kind of magical infused stone that you can see through.
Like a viewing portal?
Or it's like a luxury box.
Okay.
Ooh.
Cool.
Anybody who wants to take a look at these runes, you can get a sense of how they work with maybe an arcana or occultism check.
Ooh.
Yeah, Trill will do occultism.
Istin will do arcana.
I'm down to try.
Okay, so Ao looks at the glyphs surrounding this, and gets the sense that they will detonate the moment that she touches them.
It's an incinerator.
It's another incinerator. Istin and Trill, though, both understand that they can manipulate the glyphs in a certain way to make the wall ethereal, allowing you to pass through it.
Oh, did you see that? Oh, yeah, if we just
don't touch it.
Put this one there.
She kind of gets in front of Istin, and Istin's behind her as they like move around the glyphs, and maybe a little bit of a ghost moment.
A ghostly echo
Stop
of the
it.
Everly Brothers.
Stop! What are you doing? Jesus, stop!
And the two of you working together over Ao's protestations.
It's fine.
Manage to render this wall ethereal. It is now something you can pass through if you'd like to.
Oh, Istin would definitely like to. This has gotten him very excited. Oh, this
Trill first like puts a hand out to like touch it, like not quite believing that they were able to do that. I think it's
gonna
cool.
burn you. Stop.
No, I think it's gonna be.
And Ao sees them
nice.
pass through the wall, and they're fine.
I'm gonna have to heal everyone again. Ugh.
Ao, come on through.
So you step into this room, and it's a mess. There's dented pewter serving dishes, silver flatware, crystal shrapnel all over the floor. You look to the western end and to the eastern end of this room, and you see that there are tables that have been set up for guests, presumably to have sit at, with personalized individual ovens at each table. The two of you, Trill and Istin, when you were manipulating the glyphs, you also understood that the glyphs could be pressed to provide different viewing angles onto the arena. So this wall that you just walked through is almost like a big flat screen television at a sports bar that can show you different vantage points onto the combat happening onto the arena.
Cool.
Man, it's amazing what you can do with money these, 100 years, however many years ago this was.
And as you step into the room, this silence is interrupted by a flash of something white in front of your face, followed by the sound of a cracking plate. You hear a voice reverberating around the room, but you see no source of it.
This is your fault, you cultureless buffoon!
You hear a shout issue forth from the eastern side of the room, opposite where the plate cracked.
No, you arrogant prick! It's your fault!
As a piece of wood flies towards the location of the first voice. And then you see an ethereal figure, a poltergeist.
Yes, I knew it was going to be poltergeist.
Flicker into existence as it's yelling. It's dressed in formal wear with an absurdly wide collar made of folded ribbon around its neck. And it dodges out of the way of this piece of wood as it crashes into the wall behind it. And as soon as the yelling stops, it disappears again from existence.
No, brother, shut up! They're here! It'll soon be over! Doom!
And you see another ethereal dandy pop into existence for a brief moment before disappearing again. And as these two yell at each other, they're mostly invisible, but from time to time, they crackle into existence, and you see these glimpses of two well-dressed gentlemen rippling in the air in front of you. One of the voices calls out,
Yes, they are here! Doom! It is time! Doom!
And both of the spirits look towards you.
Doom! Can't get out! Stuck here!
And a volley of silverware and chairs fly towards you. And we will pick up from there next time.
A chair swarm!
Are these guys like Statler and Waldorf?
Kinda.
The Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production, produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy. Roots of Ruin uses trademarks and or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's community use policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. Paizo does not recognize, endorse, or sponsor this project in any way. Original characters and content are the property of Tabletop Gold. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. Email us at letters@tabletopgold.com and find all our social links at tabletopgold.com.